The creation of coffee pods marked a very important revolutionary change in how we enjoy and experience our coffee. It's seen as an innovation and is simultaneously criticized for its environmental impact as well. Let's deep dive into some lesser-known facts about coffee pods that might surprise you. How much do you think is the waste generated by coffee pods in a year? Do you know which marketing tactic is used to sell coffee pods? Keep watching the video to get these answers. We all must have observed that the coffee we drink out of a coffee pot is not very great in taste. Obviously, soaking the coffee beans overnight doesn't beat the taste of coffee brewed by coffee beans. Many people do not understand that these coffee pods come in a category of bad consumer products. Looking at history of coffee pods. A marketing manager named John Sylvan quit his job and worked on a device where you could make a single cup of coffee from a single coffee pod. He went on to regret this invention, as he mentioned in an interview that these pods are expensive to use, and he feels bad that he ever invented them. This device was known as keurig, a Danish for excellence. It is kind of like when people name their dog Killer when he might be a Chihuahua. But these pods are not like your cute Chihuahua, but quite the opposite of it. These pods would change the way millions of people are used to drinking their coffee worldwide. Due to their widespread usage, these coffee pods have created mountains of trash and landfills worldwide. The business model. Keurig is now a billion-dollar brand in the supreme competitive coffee industry. But it is important to note that the invention of coffee pods themselves was a groundbreaking process. The marketing tactic that made it so successful is not the Keurig device. In fact, you will be surprised to know that most of their devices are sold at a loss, but they make money from these little pods. While it may seem like a small thing, it is actually a very good business model. This novelty brewing technique ensured that the coffee drinkers would buy their particular coffee pods whenever they needed a refill. This is known as the razor blade business model, or the old bait and hook strategy. This strategy was started by Gillette, which earned its profits by selling unreasonably high-priced razor blades after giving away razor handles that were very cheap or at a very low price. This is a similar strategy used by gaming giants such as Microsoft, as they make no money off the Xbox consoles, but their games make them more money. This model can be a very important method to make a company rich quickly, but you need a sustainable business plan. That's why things went south for Keurig when its patent expired in 2013. This gave a free hand to anyone who wanted to do a coffee pod business, so Keurig made sure that you could only use their specific coffee pods. And anything that wasn't made by Keurig got the error message and forced you to make your own coffee, and the machine would be of no use to you in that case. They have even put infrared sensors in their coffee pods and ensured that you don't game the system. 4 really important facts about coffee pods are: Number 1. Cost comparison. Lots of times people don't think to check how much the extra stuff costs, like ink, coffee pods, or razor blades, when they buy something. It looks like a good deal at first, but when you need more, it's expensive and fancy stuff you don't need. This isn't just for coffee machines. It happens with many things like printers and razors. They make it so you can only use their stuff, which isn't fair. Even if you don't use printers or drink coffee, you've probably seen this trick before. The good news is there are ways to get around this, like using different kinds of pods or buying used things to save money. Plus, this way of selling things makes a lot of trash, which is bad. If you're considering buying something like a coffee machine, especially when it's on sale, remember it might cost you more later. Number 2. Environmental impact. As I mentioned in the introduction, coffee pods are known for their negative environmental impact and are a major cause of land pollution. Recycling them is difficult as many are made from a combination of plastic, aluminum, and organic materials, coffee grounds. This makes them very challenging to process in standard recycling facilities. This has caused significant criticism regarding their ever-increasing contribution to landfill waste. The high volume of coffee pods consumed globally increases this issue. Millions of these pods are used and thrown away daily, leading to a substantial collection of waste in landfills. This waste, primarily composed of non-biodegradable materials, can last centuries, causing long-term environmental harm. Additionally, the process of producing, packaging, and distributing these pods contributes to a larger carbon footprint, an aspect often overlooked when considering their overall environmental impact. This situation has led to an urgent call for more sustainable practices in the industry, emphasizing the need for innovative solutions that can balance convenience with ecological responsibility. Number 3. Coffee quality in coffee pods. The quality of coffee in pods can be debated and is certainly a cause for concern in many instances. While some brands offer premium, high-quality coffee in their pods, others opt for lower-grade beans, which is disheartening for coffee enthusiasts. Additionally, the fact that coffee in these pods is pre-ground can fasten the oxidation and cause flavor degradation, a huge contrast to freshly ground beans' rich and robust taste. This disparity in quality is often hidden by the convenience and quick preparation time offered by pod machines, but for those with a distinguished taste for taste, it can be a noticeable compromise. Also, the limited scope for customizing brew strength and flavor in pod. Coffee takes away the exquisite experience that traditional brewing methods provide. This aspect of coffee pod use highlights the trade-off between convenience and quality, a significant consideration for those who cherish the elegant flavors and aromas of expertly brewed coffee. Number 4. Health concerns with the consumption of coffee pods. There have been a lot of health concerns related to coffee pods, particularly about the plastics used in their manufacture. This has been a major cause of concern in a lot of places. We know that when these pods are heated, these plastics can potentially leach many chemicals into the coffee. However, most leading brands claim their BPA-free pods meet food safety standards, but we cannot take this at face value. Some other important facts about coffee pods are: Number 1. Innovations in sustainability by improving packaging. Some companies have started producing compostable or biodegradable pods in response to environmental concerns. Additionally, reusable coffee pods are available, allowing users to fill them with their choice of ground coffee, reducing end waste and making them more sustainable. Number 2. Market growth and popularity in recent times. The market for coffee pods has seen substantial growth in the past decade, reflecting a growing trend toward convenience in consumer behavior. This trend has influenced the coffee industry and the development of similar single-serve products in other food and drink sectors. Number 3. Variety and customization. Coffee pods come in a vast array of flavors and blends, always offering a level of variety that can be appealing to many new users. However, this variety can sometimes come at the cost of customization, as users are limited to the pre-packaged options available to them, unlike traditional coffee brewing methods where you can adjust the grind, quantity, and brewing time of your coffee. This is a challenge for a lot of coffee lovers. Number 4. Shelf life of coffee pods. Coffee pods are said to last longer than coffee in opened bags. They are sealed tightly to keep air, water, and light from getting in, which helps the coffee stay fresh. But this can change how the coffee tastes. The tight sealing keeps the coffee from getting old fast, but it also means the coffee's natural flavors can't develop as well. This is like keeping coffee in a tight box where it can't breathe. So, while the coffee in pods doesn't go bad quickly, it might not taste as good as fresh coffee from a bag. Number 5. Compatibility and proprietary issues. As we saw in the case of Keurig, some coffee pod machines use proprietary pod designs, meaning they only work with pods made by or licensed by the machine's manufacturer. This limits consumer choice and can lock them into a specific brand, essentially limiting their switching power. Number 6. Economic impact on coffee farmers. The increase in coffee pods has also hurt coffee farmers. The need for certain coffee beans for these pods can change their prices and how farmers grow them. Often farmers have to grow only the beans needed for the pods, which can be hard on them. This can mean less variety in the coffee they grow and might lead them to use farming methods that aren't so good for the land. Also, when farmers quickly focus on growing lots of these specific beans for the pods, it can be tough on their farms in the long run. This shows how our choices as coffee drinkers can really affect the people who grow our coffee. We just saw some really interesting facts about coffee pods. I hope that you learned a lot from the video. For more such content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.